Okay, so the party of Lincoln, the Republican Party, is extremely xenophobic nowadays, especially towards uh, migrants coming from Mexico. And I find that kind of hilarious because I'm going to play a little clip about Abraham Lincoln and what he thought about the Mexican American War. And I'm also going to give you my 2 cents about the war and why I'm basically going to argue that the war is a scam. Texas to California was stolen, and I don't want to hear this BS about Mexicans go back to Mexico when this used to be Mexico. It's a whole lot of BS. So let me play this just so you could understand where I'm coming from.
When Abraham Lincoln was elected the 16th President of the United States in the fall of 1860, it was actually only the second time he would hold federal office. Now, of course, Lincoln became very famous in 1858 when he ran for the U.S. Senate against sitting Senator Stephen Douglas in the state of Illinois. Of course, Lincoln lost that election. The only time Lincoln held federal office prior to becoming President of the United States was when he was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives from the state of Illinois in
Man, look at this sexy motherfucker.
1846. As Lincoln was sworn into the House of Representatives in early 1847, the backdrop of what was happening in the country was that the United States was at war with Mexico. The war with Mexico had begun in the spring of 1846 when the troops under command of General Zachary Taylor, that is the future President Zachary Taylor, were allegedly attacked on U.S. soil in southern Texas on April 24th, 1846.
Okay, so there's this has never been confirmed. It's thought to believe to be a false flag attack. Basically, President Polk wanted a war against Mexico, so he created this false flag attack that said, "Hell, they attacked us, so now we got to go to war with Mexico and fight the war all the way down south." The war was not fought here in American soil. The whole war, the whole Mexican War, was fought down south, and eventually they went all the way to Mexico City and made the government sign a treaty signing over Texas to California. It was a whole BS war. Even the generals who fought the war say the same thing. And you don't have to believe me. Read their own words in their personal diaries. A lot of them wrote about it, about how they thought this was a land grab, and they go into detail. And it was so unpopular that a giant amount or a significant amount of American troops decided to leave the American army and join the Mexican army. It was a whole battalion. We call them the Saint Patrick's Battalion. It was made up of mainly Irish immigrants because at that time a lot of Irishmen joined the military for work. Yes, they were like, "Hey man, I don't know why we're fighting this bullshit war. Let's I see they're Catholic, we're Catholic. We get outcasted for our religion because at that time being Catholic in the United States was not was sort of frowned upon." And they were like, "Oh man, let's join our fellow brothers down south." So nowadays, when I hear the party of Lincoln be so xenophobic, especially towards Mexicans, I'm like, hey, this land was stolen. Just like how it was stolen from Native Americans, it was also stolen from Mexico.
And immediately afterwards, President James K. Polk asked for a war declaration from the U.S. Congress. Now, it's not like everybody was on board with this. Some people in the government, some people throughout the country were a little bit concerned this was a land grab, that it was about, gaining extra territory for the expansion of slavery. But in the end, overwhelmingly, the U.S. Congress did vote to go to war with Mexico. Fast forward just under a year, and a young Abraham Lincoln enters the House of Representatives, and he's not having any of it. Abraham Lincoln did not believe that the war with Mexico was justified whatsoever. So at this point in time, there is no modern Republican Party, the party that Lincoln would become symbolic of. At this point in time, Lincoln is a Whig. And keep in mind, Lincoln is entering Congress as a first-term U.S. representative from Illinois, and he has no problem at all calling out President Polk for what he thought was a lie. He went on the floor of the U.S. Congress and he declared that he wanted to know the exact spot where blood had supposedly been shed on American soil. This was the argument that President Polk had made.
Yeah, because if you're saying, oh, they came over here and attacked us, oh yeah, where was this at? It's like, I mean, if they came, if these Mexicans came to America and started attacking American troops, where about was this? And they couldn't show, yeah, it happened right over here. And it's like, no, it was some BS. It was a false flag just to do a land grab.
In his justification of the Mexican-American War, he declared that American blood had been shed on American soil. Lincoln wasn't buying it. So Lincoln introduced what was called his spot resolution. And in the spot resolution, he wanted the exact spot marked where this blood had supposedly been shed. Now, this was introduced by Lincoln in December of 1847. The war would end by treaty in 1848. The House of Representatives did not take up Lincoln's.
Yeah. So, so this land that I'm living in right now, Texas, it's been stolen so many times. But this is why when people are xenophobic, I don't want to hear their BS. First of all, as a human being, I'm going to tell you this much. Live wherever you want to live. These governments, these people, we didn't get to choose where to be born. If you were born, be honest, if you were born in Gaza or in Haiti, would you stay your ass there your whole life, or would you move? If you were born in a war zone, or in a place that there's famine and you can't live, it's human nature to move. We've done it since the beginning of humanity, of humankind. We get up and move to where we can live. And for you to tell somebody, nah, you got to stay there. You can't leave. You got to stay wherever your ass was born. Oh yeah, if you were in my shoes or in somebody else's shoes, would you do the same? You wouldn't do the same. And all this, just do it legally. Just do it legally. Legally is it's just a term that people make up to justify things, like in the way of the law is always correct. Oh yeah, the law is always correct. I mean, it's never wrong. The current way we have the legal system, you're saying you're 100% with it. It's like me saying, I'm not anti-slavery. I mean, I'm not pro-slavery, but I think that those slaves back in the 1800s, if they didn't want to be slaves, they should just not done it. They should have done it legally. Quit being a slave, and if you don't want to be a slave anymore, do it the legal way. It sounds stupid, right? It's like, what do you mean do it the legal way? There is no legal way, or if there is a legal way, it is damn near impossible. I don't know when's the last time you saw the American legal way of becoming a U.S. citizen. It's freaking really, really, really hard. It shouldn't have to be, but it's that way on purpose because honestly, they don't want people here. Let's just be honest. They don't want people here. Especially they don't want people of different color. But my thing is this. I don't give a damn about all that. This land was stolen. It was stolen from the natives. It was stolen from Mexico, which a large portion of Mexicans are natives. Mexico has the most Native American per capita of pretty much any country, I think, in North America. Or definitely way more than the U.S. And those people were here way before these Europeans were here. So now we have these people like Donald Trump out here talking about, I need to go back. Man, screw you. If he was in their shoes, he would cross. So this is a message to my Mexican people or to my fellow immigrants. Move wherever the hell you want to go. Get your money, get your paper. They're always going to hate, they're always going to hate you no matter what. Whether you do it legally or illegally, they're gonna hate you. So don't worry about them. Make it the decisions that are best for you. always. And to my non-immigrants, same thing, get your paper. Don't worry about what the government says, legal or illegal. Laws change all the time. If we just said, hey, there are open borders, just how easy it is for me to cross from Texas to Louisiana, that's the same way it should be from Texas to Mexico. Completely open borders. And if the president said, hey man, we have open borders, it is 100% legal, would you be okay with it? Because now, hey, it's legal. You said you're pro immigration as long as it's done legal. And if the government says that's the new law, would you be okay with it? If you say no, then it has something to do with, it ain't about legal or illegal. It really has to do about skin color, because or culture, because people like to hide. They like to hide behind the legal. I'm okay with immigration as long as it's legal. Yeah. No, you ain't. I'm just being honest. If you look into it, their argument, it kind of crumbles. Like you look at those Haitians in Springfield, Ohio. They're there legally, but again, they don't want them there. Why? Because they're too dark, and they speak French. They don't want people who are different. They'll never want you. This is how it is. There ain't no winning. There ain't no debating it. So don't argue with these motherfuckers. Don't argue with these idiots. Just go do what you gotta do to survive. Ain't no point in arguing with these idiots. And keep coming. Like I said, anywhere you're at, if you want to come to the U.S., man, come on, man. There's plenty of freaking land over here. If you want to go anywhere, go get it. Go. Don't worry about the government. The government it's full of freaking rich people who are just trying to freaking rule people like us, and you don't really have to let them rule you. They're just trying to keep us down. And again, that's what they really want. They want to keep you poor. They want to keep me poor. Man, get your paper, get your money. That's what I'm telling everybody always. Stop wasting money on stupid things. Start investing. Start trying to make your own business. Become financially independent from the workforce, and then you'll have some power. And then we can start really making some change and get rid of these freaking these people in the White House, in the Senate, in the Congress. They're all the same, man. I don't give a damn whether they're Republican or Democrat. They're all the same. They're all multi-millionaires who don't give a damn about poor people. They care about the rich. It's the have-yachts and the have-nots. And guess what? Most of us don't have yachts. We don't get a seat at the table. We're nobody to them. It's all WWE. It's fake. It's they're arguing with each other, but at the end of the day, it's the rich versus everybody else. All right. Let me know what your thoughts on this.